Right, okay, welcome. So, hello.
Hello.
Welcome, everybody. This is a podcast called 5678, where we talk about all things dance in Liverpool and Merseyside. And we have a wonderful guest, someone I've been dying to get in for ages, and we managed to make it work, the wonderful Paul Doyle.
Hello. Thank you.
How are
Thanks
you?
for having me. I'm good. Thanks, Carl. Yeah.
So,
how are
we're
you?
coming to the end of the year. We've just had a big chat anyway. So, when do you actually finish everything?
Teaching wise for Christmas next Thursday. Thursday, that's quite late, isn't it? The 19th.
It is late for
Just let me stop. Just
We're until on the 20th. We've got CPD.
the very end. It's like still there. Step ball changing around the room. No thanks. Let me be.
Well, you never did step ball changes, though, did you? You're more of a contemporary person.
Well, she does it all. She
Oh,
does it all.
she
She's
does
very
it?
versatile.
Right, so it's really interesting we really need to know a little bit about you.
Okay.
So you've been on the scene for only 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Just about, yeah.
Scouse born and bred.
Yes.
You've trained here, you've worked here, you've done everything. So let our sort of listeners know, like, you. I think that's really important.
Okay. So training wise, I always wanted to be an actor. That was my dream. Well, actually, no. The dream was, if my dream job would be to have been a Blue Peter presenter.
No way.
Like, that would have been bouncing on a trampoline, interviewing people, and making Tracy Island. I'd have been in my element. But no, I always wanted to be an actor. And then when I was going through that process of auditioning for drama schools, I know now from being on the other side of it and teaching at one that I just wasn't ready for it. And I was young, I had no life experience, I wasn't ready for it. And what roles was I going to play? Like,
Loads.
well, maybe at the Royal Court in like Shirley owns the laundrette or whatever it is. Had to be in the camp one, but like
Scouse Red Riding
King
Hood.
Lear, it's not going to happen, is it? You know what I mean? Yeah, Scouse Red Riding Hood. Has to be in the big bad wolf or something. Yeah. But, I just wasn't ready for it. And,
Okay, so you started dance then?
yeah, so then I went to Hope University and was doing drama and theatre studies. It was combined honours, and dance was one of the pathways that you could take. So that basically was where I'd done dance before. I took part in like classes, school shows. I'd been at the community college and I'd done, I started AS level dance, and I don't think I even made it to Christmas because...
That's how it used to be, isn't it? It was
Yeah,
the 2 years
AS.
A level, but you could get an AS level first 1 year, couldn't you?
I don't even know why I dropped that. I think it was a little bit more, there was a lot of written work and it just wasn't for me at that time. I just thought, no, I just want to dance around the room. So, and I focused on drama and theatre studies at that point. And then, I went to Hope, and that was combined honours. And I just fell in love with dance there. And by the time I had graduated, I was single honours in dance in third year. So... And that was just the trajectory then. That was just where I wanted to go.
So why Hope and maybe not John Moore's, though? Because it back in our day, it was sort of Lipper or John Moore's, I suppose, wasn't it? So
I
why
think
did
it
you
was
think Hope?
the combined honours, I think, the chance that I got to do both of them. And I think that was where what I loved about performance anyway, was just being like a physical performer. And then now, with what I do now, it probably was the best route because... I teach movement for actors at Lipper now, so it gives me that like knowledge and grounding in both of those areas and applying the two together. That allows me to work with the actors and deliver like stage combat or animal studies and just that understanding of the body.
So when you finished, where did you go? What was your bright-eyed and bushy-tailed with your degree in dance? What happened?
I stayed here in Liverpool, and a friend of mine is a school teacher. She teaches drama in a high school, and she offered me a job as a classroom assistant. So I was doing a master's at Lipper. So whilst I was doing that, I was working in the school, and it was an all-boys school in West Derby, and there was a group of kids that were really interested in dancing, and one of them was Fortune. Fortune was one of the kids there at the school.
Amazing. All connected here.
Yeah.
All connected.
So they were already interested in dancing. There was lots of stuff happening in and around the school, and it just exploded in the time that I was there. And we had like a dance festival in the school where we had like all the lads in year 7 take part in. It was an Olympic year, so we staged like a big Olympic opening ceremony for the school sports day, and we used to just take a piece of like lino out on the playground and let them break dance, or we had local schools come in. I was working at St John Bosco and at Cardinal Heenan at the time, so we brought the two schools together to perform. And then because I was at Lipper, and I was Lizzie Perry, who'd been one of my teachers at Hope, she was then my classmate on the master's programme. and she was doing a project called The Line. So we had the kids involved in The Line as well. So it was just huge from nowhere. And then through that, I remember the lads going on stage. This probably the first time they'd gone on stage, and the way I felt, I was so sick, the feeling that I had, which I wasn't getting from being on stage myself. And it just led me into a different route there then, because I knew that, oh, well, this is exciting. This feeling that I'm getting over these performing, that for me, it was just like, oh, I'm going on stage.
So was that maybe one of your standout moments where you thought teaching in community and that sort of outreach kind of?
Probably.
Or, do you still get like a niggle for performing on stage? I mean, that's where your alter ego, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah, possibly. And I do think I've been hearing that little call again to be front and center and performing, whether that's dance or whatever, who knows, spoken word, I don't know, I don't care, whatever, you're gonna pay me, I'll do it, so it's one of them.
So what's your other biggest standout? So you went to Liverpool, what was that experience like?
Oh, it was a strange
Very
one.
different.
Yeah, it was a part-time masters, so we used to go in for 1 weekend a month. So you do like a really intense weekend of lectures and seminars, and then it was both about your practice and how you embedded that knowledge into what you were doing. And again, for me, when I left, I was like, I just want to top up my skill set. I feel like I need further training from what I'd done on my undergrad. And I don't think I was actually ready for the MA either. I feel like it's something that I could do now and really enjoy the experience of, like, consolidating everything I've done to this moment, or pushing myself further. But at that time, it was just...
You thought it was one thing and essentially it was something else.
Yeah, well, yeah, it just wasn't... I just don't think I was mature enough for it at the time.
Okay. So talk to me about your experience at MDI. Obviously, you were there for a very long time and did some incredible work. And I know we've talked about it in the past, but you did do some incredible work. And I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to invite you, because you have been so influential on the dance scene in terms of MDI as well. But, talk to us about a little bit about MDI.
Yeah, well, I first got involved with MDI whilst I was at university, or possibly even when I was at sixth form college, and was just going and taking classes. So I used to go to like Alan Pugh's street dance class and Polly Scott's hip hop class. And then when I was at university, Sarah, who was my lecturer, she may have taught some contemporary stuff there. So I'd go and just supplement my training with these classes, which was really valuable because it meant that you were connecting them with people outside of that little bubble that you were in.
Yeah, of course.
So I made loads of connections there. And I just remember Darren Suarez coming into uni one day and was like, I'm teaching a class, come along. And that was it. Basically, we formed a little group of people that we were all connected together and good friends that have been friends for life still. So that was how I first got involved. And then I went off and was a secondary school teacher. So I did a PGCE and was a secondary school teacher.
Over the water?
Yeah, in Wirral in Wallasey.
Yes, I remember, because I did a project and I met your mentor.
Okay, with Caroline.
Irish?
No.
Northern Ireland? Northern
Oh,
Irish?
Kira, it might have been. Yeah, no, she wasn't my mentor. She was one of my mates that worked there. Yeah. But yeah, so I was there for a few years on, and like the contracts were all like maternity leave contracts. So I was there for like a year and a half and then left for a bit and then come back. But all the way through that, I was always a bit like, MDI is there. Why aren't we engaging with them? Why aren't they engaging with us? And I was able to go, I've been through that as a student and as someone who uses their classes, who's performed at Leap in like community platforms or as a freelancer. Why aren't they engaging with us on this level as a school when we've got students that would benefit from that? And I know that they need to connect with young people. So then after that, after the maternity contracts, there was a job came available at MDI. I should actually say I was working for Movement first. So I was at Movement, and then a job opened up at MDI, which again was a mat cover for Jenny Hale. And I went and got the job, and it was like children and young people was the remit for it. So it was about like connecting with the schools. So I had those contacts anyway from my time there. And then we looked at like how we could get schools involved in the festival, what we could be doing more of in the community to get young people across Merseyside engaged with dance.
What was your biggest standout moment? Because how long did you work there for as well?
5 years.
So what was your biggest standout moment in the 5 years?
There was loads, because like at one point I was doing children and young people and the artist support, the professional artist. That was Jenny's remit, but while she was on mat leave, I was doing that. So I was overseeing professional class, we were programming for the festival, we were programming young people's platforms and events, and there's so many like great moments from that. We had a commission where we had money from Children in Need. So in I can't remember, the year of the moon landing, we did a project called One Small Step. So the whole thing was One Small Step was the young people's project, and then One Giant Leap was the festival later on in the year. So it was all connected to STEM and the moon landing. So we were working with like the Scouts based over in Birkenhead, and the Hive Youth Hub as well. There was like 3 or 4 groups from the Wirral, and we performed at World Museum. As I'm connected with the museum, so we had the astronauts' outfits and things, and then we got to perform at Birkenhead Town Hall underneath the Museum of the Moon. The Luke Jerram is the big inflatable moons. Stuff.
Yeah.
We got to perform there. That was just such a lovely project. And I remember the kids saying like, "So when are we raising the money for Children in Need?" It's like, "No, babe, this is the money. This is what the Children in Need money is doing
for you.
Yeah,
this is what it's doing for you."
Yeah.
And it must have been amazing to be able to offer that opportunity to people from the Wirral and have that lovely cross collaboration project, which is so nice.
But then, other than that, I suppose there's just so many different things there at MDI that it's hard to because for a small organisation, there was only 4, 5 or 6 of us that worked there, and we grafted and we were constantly punching above our weight, and there was something all the time. So yeah, it's hard to actually pinpoint anything really. I suppose 2017 when we built the theatre inside Make CIC as well and the docks, that was incredible. Like that whole experience was insane.
Wow, I've not actually been inside Make CIC in the docks, so that's incredible. So have you never thought about having your own thing throughout this whole time?
Oh, Carl,
you must have.
I did. I had one. So it started at Cardinal Heenan, so I had a group, the group of lads, and they were called Chaos, and that was just literally because being in the room with them was chaotic. The energy was everywhere, and they would perform everywhere, because they were all male as well, like people would phone up and go, "You've got boys, we want them involved," and stuff. So
100%.
like excellence in schools, or there was a couple of like school related ones that they performed at Nugent Park Festival. They performed there. There was loads over such a short span, and then when I left the school I took that with me, and when I went to Wallasey it became a bit more like a dance school. We had like multiple classes, and in the end I just thought, you know what, now no,
you're going to have to break this down. In the end, it was so great. I thought, no.
It was just graft. And on top of a full-time job anyway.
Welcome
know this.
to the club.
Yeah, it's hard graft. And I just thought, is it worth it?
Yeah, it is. Did you not love it?
I did. And then I just think I'd moved beyond loving it. It was hustle. And then the kids were also reaching an age where like GCSE and A-levels were being prioritised, which rightly so. And then when you're stressing out because someone hasn't paid you £4 that week, I just thought, I don't need it in my life.
No, absolutely. There's no funding for it or anything like that. And essentially these kids and parents are killing themselves to get them to come along. Yeah, you've got to make that decision. Yeah. But you still have Chaos though, don't you?
Yeah, Chaos still exists. It's now, we work in primary schools. So there's multiple parts of what we do with Chaos. So we work in primary schools. We've got community-based classes. So we have an adult class in Bootle. It's a bit like a Zumba dance fitness class with women of a certain age. They'll knock me out for saying that, but they are. And do you know what, Carl? It is
full of wisdom. These ladies with wisdom.
It's my favourite class of the week. Yeah, it's the last thing I do on a Thursday evening, and it really like helps me just like forget about all the kids that I've worked with all week, because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of energy all week, and then when I'm with the women on the Thursday night, we just have a laugh.
And you can just actually be an adult for a change without being someone's parent, social worker, teacher, mentor.
And people who are choosing to come for themselves, whether that's for fitness, whether just to get out the house for an hour, or and we have an absolute ball. Love it.
Christmas do with these lovely ladies?
Oh, we should have done it last night, but we haven't done one. So
New Year's.
Yeah, we'll get something sorted.
We'll just see you in January. Look out for the email, ladies. So I'm just trying to think now. I'm racking my brain. So I've been back in Liverpool for 7 years, but we know all the same people. So how the hell did we meet?
I think we met at MDI.
Did we?
Yeah, I'm sure you just knocked on the door and asked about hiring the space one day, and that was that.
And that
the
was
rest
it.
is history.
And then I just saw you every week.
Yeah. We just have a little gossip in the corridor.
I remember seeing you once. You came to, oh God, this was ages ago when I used to run the Mersey Bears.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
We
I
came to
remember
Mersey Bears,
you
yeah.
came to a Mersey Bears event, didn't you?
With Darren, I'm sure we came with Orlando as well.
Oh yeah, well
Mm.
yeah, probably,
Mm.
probably. Oh god, yeah.
Downstairs in Jupiter's.
It was downstairs, which is not there anymore. It's
I
like a
think it was
lovely brasserie bar
the first and
now.
only time I've ever been in there, to
Oh,
be
was it?
honest.
Oh, it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
great. It
Yeah.
was absolutely brilliant. But we won't talk about Mersey Bears. That
Mm.
ship has certainly sailed. I'm glad it's helped lots of people, but it certainly didn't help me. So
Well, it's a good little lead into something that we've got. So, like Chaos in January, we are starting an LGBTQ dance company, for like community dance company.
fab.
So we got a
Needs to
small
happen.
little pocket of money from ACC Liverpool, and that's what we're doing with it. So kind of like the alpha dancers from London or the Gay Gordons, just like bringing people from the community together. That's not about drinking. That's not about nightlife, and just a
And-
safe space
and
to
labelling, it's
have
just
fun and stay fit.
absolutely. So I ask all. Well, I'm going on like I've done loads of episodes. This is the second one. So let's talk about young Paul.
Yeah.
If you were to go back to young Paul now, everything you know now, what would you tell young Paul?
Oh, God knows.
Do a different career, go into
but-
hairdressing.
Yeah, there's about 7 different people that live inside this head, so they probably all say something different. But
Not Hanz.
I just think, no hands, no. I don't know what I'd tell him, to be honest. Just you're gonna have a good time, just enjoy it, maybe, or don't worry so much. Yeah, I had a lovely moment when it come to the end of my time at MDI. So it was during the COVID lockdown, and we were all just penned up in our own houses, weren't we? And I started listening to it, the audiobook version of The Power of Now, and it was the right time for me to listen to that. It's hard going, and like the voices on the audiobook are difficult to listen to as well. But at that moment in time, it was what I needed to hear, and it was just basically saying like, try not to worry about what's coming, it's coming, and don't worry about what's happened because it's happened. So all we can do is be in this moment now, and at that moment, everything just clicked into place for me. And since then, I think I'd just say that to him, maybe. Just don't worry about it.
Do you think you need to say that to yourself now?
Do
you?
I think I need to say it every day when I wake up, to be honest. But
Well, we were talking outside, weren't we? Feeling a little bit penned in, and I think we're both at that age. I think you get to a certain age where you've kind of peaked in certain roles, haven't you? So it's like, well, where's the next step? Where do you go next?
yeah.
Do you still think you could use that kind of, not therapy, but those positive words of wisdom now, or is it just...
No, I think I've always just been in that ebb and flow of things anyway, where like if you've ever asked me at any point, oh well, what do you want to do? I'd be like, oh, I don't know, I'll just go with the flow. And I think I have been in the flow for so long, and it hasn't been bad. It hasn't been a bad ride. I do think that if at any point I had have steered the ship a little bit more, it would have took a different course. But I think these things happen when they're meant to happen, and maybe you're just not in the right place, you're not old enough, or whatever it is, you're not in the right environment. Yeah, I don't know if I've answered your question there.
No, I think we've got loads, but we're going to go back to lockdown.
Okay.
So I know we had a few boozy conversations during lockdown, which were great. But this is where Hanz came to light. If you've not seen Hanz, you will love Hanz.
Hanz. So, shameless plug, you can listen to all of his really amazing music on
No, but you
Spotify.
need to talk about who this character is. So it's an alter ego, isn't it?
Yeah, he's an alter ego.
So where did he come from?
Well, it came from, as you've just rightly said, a lot of gin being consumed during lockdown, and Eurovision was cancelled. No, I wouldn't say I was the world's biggest Eurovision fan, but I do enjoy the campness of it all, like the silliness of it. So it was cancelled, and I was just sat there one drunk night playing on my computer. I was like, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to make a song that I think would be a Eurovision bop, just because I've got no creative outlet and I've got all this time on my hands. So playing around on GarageBand and messing with things. And I'd made the song and just thought, I'm going to just share it with people because I think it's really funny. And then from that, I was like, I'm going to make a music video. So I just moved into my house and everything. It was a perfect studio because
it's a
everything
lovely
was
house.
Just,
I'm so jealous.
but at that point, it was just a blank space.
Yeah.
So I had like lights that I'd put around the house and stage things and loads of yourself. You've got like costume and odd props and stuff in boxes, in wardrobes, or in the loft and things from that you've accumulated over years. So it was just dressing up and playing around in the house as this crazy Dutch character. I don't know German.
Is he German, Dutch?
Yeah,
So flits in between
yeah,
Belgium.
Yeah, he's German. But,
And what's he famous for?
Oh, you name it. This man is famous for all of it.
And is there anything recent that Hanz has done? Because he's made a debut at the House of Suarez Vocal. He's done quite a bit, hasn't he?
Yeah,
He's done Leap
music.
festivals. So is there anything in the pipeline with Hanz?
I don't know. And I remember Rowena Ganza asking this question as part of her research for her PhD, and it sounds so cliche, and it's very like RuPaul's Drag Race, where the character allows you to do things that you might not do, that like superhero alter ego. So there was stuff where I'd be like, Paul wouldn't necessarily do that, but Hanz can. And I feel like I've found that lovely like sweet spot where Paul will just do it now. There's whatever I've done now. I've embarrassed myself over there being Hanz anyway. I've paraded round and my knickers on stage being lifted by
Gold.
men. You know.
Gold knickers.
Yeah, so whatever.
I love it. So where can we find Hanz?
Oh, you find him anywhere, like YouTube, Instagram, House of Song, or Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere.
Should we put a link on the bio?
Absolutely. And every time you stream these god-awful songs, I get paid, which is fantastic.
Oh,
So,
fantastic. How much do you get paid?
Oh, it's rubbish, but it racks up.
Does it? Go on, tell me. Get into the... Oh, okay. She's a hustler. No one... Hustlers don't...
You'll be on too. No.
Hustlers don't share their money. All right, okay. We're going to move on to another section now. So motivation and gripe.
Okay.
So I think we'll go gripe first.
Right.
So as we were talking, you've been on the dance scene for a while, and mainly kind of Merseyside based. And have you done Lancashire and Manchester, so you can kind of see what's your biggest gripe on the dance scene. And I would probably say then and now.
It's different, isn't it? It depends on like where you are in that world, whether you're in the commercial world or whether you're in like the funded sector and things. For me, with my experience, the biggest gripe is the lack of funding for what we do. And that constantly, even despite the fact that there's research and there's countless evidence to support that what we do benefits people on 100 different ways, that never ending having to defend your position and fight for the cause. It's like, yeah, we can help health and well-being. We can bring people together. We can celebrate cultures and diversity and all this. It's what we do is about people on its purest form. It's about getting people together and celebrating a human experience. So why should we constantly have to defend that position? That's my biggest gripe at the minute.
And would you say that's more centralised here, or is that global?
I think that's maybe not global, because I think in other cultures, dance is just used in that way. People are a little bit more comfortable with it. I'd say nationally in this country, yeah, like I always feel like dance is the poorer cousin of the arts. And if you look at like the money that gets thrown around for music or fine art, we're always there's a less of a share for dance for some reason.
And let's not even get us talking about different kinds of dance. There is your elite dance,
Yeah,
isn't
your
there?
highbrow.
And then there's your sort of huffing and twirlies that just forget it. What about your biggest gripes now? So we've kind of gone into this madness in Liverpool in terms of oversaturation, shall we say. What's your thoughts on that? Because Liverpool never used to be this. It's always had a verifiable track record for quality dance training, quality dancers. It's always been like that, from what I remember. But, you know, there is topics of conversations of an oversaturation, or is that, and mainly here?
Well, I don't know, because I don't know what it's like in Manchester, whether or not that they've got a similar, whether there's lots of courses being delivered there. Yeah, for me, especially in a small city like Liverpool, and this is one of the things that I am passionate about as I move forward, is about what happens next to those dancers, because there are jobs out there. So like, do we just keep churning out 30 kids every year that don't work, or they don't know what the next steps are? So I think that like the infrastructure is a big gripe. Because
what would you like to see moving forward then? Because that's a valid point, isn't it? If you think 30 kids is still quite a small cohort every year, you know, what would you like to see with your experience now and working within the community? What should institutions be doing then to support that?
I don't know. It's a huge
Just
question.
your thoughts.
I don't know. And, not every one of those people might come to the end of that journey and want to carry on and pursue a career in it. And that's fine because, if you've found a passion that you can take with you for the rest of your life that keeps you healthy, both physically and mentally, then that's fantastic. Yeah, I would just like to see better investment, better infrastructure, a better sharing of that infrastructure so that we don't need to retain things. We can share that. It's an asset for all of us. Yeah.
What's your biggest motivation then? I know you were talking about it's about sharing, it's about people coming together. And obviously a lot of your work has been about finding the diamonds in the rough and cultivating that community cohesion. What is your biggest motivation to create characters like Hanz?
I think Hanz was just a little bit for me at that moment in time to keep me sane. But I think it has helped me look at things and responses to things that I had in the past. I agree with what you've just said about the types of dance, the highbrow, the lowbrow stuff, and how, that highbrow work is not always accessible. So I think for me, one of my biggest motivations is about making sure that dance is visible in all of its forms, and making sure that the things that people enjoy watching are represented rather than just what is taste making or educational, or so that there is a real spread of it, because we actually have a really thriving dance scene in this city.
It's unbelievable.
Just not connected because everyone's in pockets and everyone's in silos, and then it can become a little bit standoffish, or you're stepping on people's toes. And it doesn't need to be like that, because we will thrive together if we all work together.
And do you think have you always had that, or do you think you've seen more of that by working in places like MDI?
I've always been the lone wolf, so it's always been like, no, but I'll do it myself. I don't need. And now as I've got older, I'm like, nah, but there's, yeah, you can do that, but actually you only go so far when you're doing that. And when you can bring in other people and when we can all share in this experience, like.
So I suppose that motivation, do you think that leads into Leap? Because we haven't talked about
this yet, no.
So come on, tell me about Leap. Where's it from and why did you decide to pick it up?
Okay, so Leap, it originally started out as the Merseyside Movement and Mime Festival a long, long time ago.
That's a nice big mouthful.
Yeah. And then they shortened that name to Leap when they got some regular funding. But Leap it probably should be in its 30 odd year this year, because I know when I was at MDI, we celebrated 25 years of that in 2017. So it was annual or biannual, depending on what the funding situation was. And it's a festival it was largely contemporary dance. It's a festival of dance that happens here in Liverpool or across Merseyside. And it would feature local artists, community groups, young people from within the city, for the city region. But it would also bring companies from across the UK, Europe and the world to Liverpool.
Absolutely.
So at times it's been really underfunded. So it's been a 2-day event. And then 2010, it was a whole year of dance. Yeah, so.
But I would say last year when you picked it up was probably one of the biggest it's ever been.
Well, yeah, I'd hope so. But I think, in terms of funding, no. And in terms of the team that we had behind it, no. I think what we refocused to celebrate what was happening in this city. And if one of the things was if we bring you in and you've got your own audience, we bring the breakdancers in and they've got a group, then we've got these ready-made things that are bringing communities together, and then we can cross-populate each other as well. So, and also I did realize that I cannot do that on my own. I can't.
I don't know how you did it.
I can't walk in and go yeah, we're going to do a breakdance battle. Well, what am I going to say? How? Yeah. Come on, girls, let's do a breakdance. Let's top rock.
I thought you did incredibly.
Thank you.
I've said that from it started to the end, through moments of I can't do this anymore.
There was a lot of those moments. There was.
But you must look back now and go, wow.
There was a moment afterwards, because I do think I had a complete breakdown at the end of it. That the last couple of days, I was just why have we made this festival so long? And I think once it had finished, there's just that release that you're just a bit lost. What do you do now? That's been a whole year of my life built into this one thing. So it took me a while to actually appreciate what it was.
And detox.
I couldn't even look at anything. I couldn't look at the photographs or the videos. And then I had to write the evaluation report. So even with the evaluation report, it was just like, get this done and out my life. And then,
So dramatic.
isn't it? But
Well, it did so, but it was so positive. Everyone still talks
yeah,
about
it was great.
how eclectic it was.
Yeah.
It was so nice to see lots of different things happening and people creating conversations that wouldn't normally cross paths.
Yeah.
And it should be. So
Yeah,
you did
yeah.
brilliantly.
And like, so watched the highlights reel back, and I knew at that point that I was like really happy with what we'd achieved. And I knew that then, okay, the breakdown's over. Like, I can be a nice person again. Or,
You were nice.
but yeah, I was happy with it.
So what's the plans now? So are we doing another one?
Well, Mouth opened, didn't it, on the first night of the festival, and was like, oh yeah, we're back, and we'll be back for 2025. And then Sinead was like, Paul, why have you said that? Because we're only on day one and we don't know whether we want to do this again after this. But I'd opened my mouth and I had to stick to it. So it is happening.
Okay,
On some scale. I don't know what that is. We're still lots of funding applications are pending, but our outdoor day will definitely be taking place again, dancing in the street, Maybank holiday.
And you reached your quota for crowdfunding?
Our crowdfunder is going to
Amazing.
support our cabaret, our opening night cabaret. We're definitely going to have 2 youth dance platforms as a part of it. We've got a lovely community event happening at the Palm House. So there's some really exciting things taking place.
Oh, can we come back? Can we perform again?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't think it'll be hats this time.
No, well, I loved the song and I loved the hats, but I'm sure you can find another jazzy prop, a cane.
I'm sure we
Cane,
can.
a chair.
But do you know when? So
Same window, 26th of April, 10th of May.
Did you get that? 26th of April, 10th of May. Oh,
Yeah.
oh God, I thought you were going to go shorter.
Well, it might be just more spread out.
That's like 14 days.
But gives us 3 weekends. And within that period, there's also World Burlesque Day, International Day of Dance, and the Maybank holiday. So,
Okay.
you know, it's a nice time to celebrate,
really
isn't
nice. And it's just that weather, it's just warm.
We
but
can go
not too-
outside, yeah. It might rain, it mightn't.
We might not have any
Yeah,
event
yeah,
space,
yeah,
so
yeah.
we're doing it outside.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready to play?
Let's play.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go on.
Yay! We're going to have to move this coffee table out the way,
Okay.
though, because you need space to move.
Oh. Calm yourself.
I love this. This is my favourite. I can't remember what I decided to call it, but it's kind of like dance knowledge. But you get to be silly and do as whatever you want.
How many rounds is that?
We're going to do 4.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to do 4. Okay.
Don't judge me, people. Don't
No,
judge me.
no. Just do whatever you want. I want it very expressive,
Okay.
please. Yeah, so channel into Hope and Lipper, please. That had so many layers, didn't it? Right, spin the wheel. Din, 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 din. Yes. We have a move card. We have a move card. So let me just double check. I've got my move. See, have you noticed how I've got more move cards? So I'm going to shuffle them.
Okay.
Do you know it took me ages to laminate these? Like literally, I was so prepared.
Bougie. Not just a standard A4 paper.
No.
Do I get to choose one?
Yeah, you have to choose one.
Okay.
And then you have to read it out so we all know.
Show us a move that represents happiness. What makes it feel that way?
Okay, I'm going to take that one back.
Happiness.
So show us a move that represents happiness. What makes it feel that way? You're going to have to improvise now. You ready? You can do it on the sofa.
I'll do it on the sofa.
No, okay, go on then.
Happiness. And a sound effect as well.
Okay, that's a nice warm up.
Radiating.
Right.
Projecting into the space.
Can we have one standing up next time?
Let's do a stand.
Okay, lovely. Right, that was your warm up. Spin the wheel. Oh, here we go. Oh, we've got a theory. Oh, we've got a theory. So this is where you put your MA and all your bid writing.
It's black. It's all been black for a long time.
Blag.
Yeah. Just pretend.
I thought you said it's all been black.
No,
It's all
no,
been
no,
black.
no, well,
Mine's
yeah,
been black.
that as well.
Everything. Right, you ready? So give us your best interpretation.
What's your process for interpreting movement in different cultural contexts?
Oh.
What's your process for interpreting movement in different cultural contexts? Do you know what? I don't even understand the question, to be honest.
Just give it a whirl. What's your process for interpreting? Like,
Do you want me to do this physically, or am I just meant to talk
No,
about
you just
it?
tell me.
Oh, okay.
If you want to do it physically, because remember, you've only got an AS level.
Yeah, I know, and a combined honours. What's my process for interpreting movement in different cultural contexts? Yeah, movements can be interpreted differently in different cultures.
I think we need AI for that answer, don't we?
Yeah.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's a hard question.
Is it really hard?
That's like a degree. That's a dissertation
I know, but you're
or
clever.
something.
You're clever.
No, but I don't like people knowing that.
We're going to have to do another one. I want a move one. If we don't get a move one,
Like
we're going
a
to have to
twerk. Like some people could consider a twerk to be a little bit taboo. Maybe. I don't know.
do... Okay. I'll expect your answer later. I'll give you 2 weeks
I
deadline.
could probably demonstrate it. No, but
Okay.
I'm not going to, but... Well, give me another question.
Right, come on. Here we go.
Right.
Spin the
I
wheel.
don't want to do a move on.
You want to do a move one?
That one's too hard. Oh, here we go. It's a move on.
You want a good one now, don't you? Okay.
Can you perform a move that feels sharp?
You need to do it in the mic.
Can you perform a move that feels sharp?
Sharp.
Sharp.
Still going.
Is that sharp enough? There's no space.
Feels like lockdown.
Yeah.
I feel like I should teach a class again on the rug.
Well, you could do. This
I
setup.
liked that. I liked that.
Little contraction.
Yeah, let's do one more. Everyone's
Go
done
on.
4.
Okay.
Okay, get your money's worth.
Oh.
I'm going to give you a move one anyway.
No, I want a thought one.
If
Go
you
on.
want a
That's balanced.
thought
then.
one.
Go on. Oh God, Paul, stop moving from the mic.
All right, here we go. Okay. Read it into the mic.
Why is improvisation an important skill in dance, and how do you approach it?
Oh,
Well, it's important in any way of life, whether it's an art form or whether it's a job in Tesco or
to improvise in Tesco.
Well, yeah, like you've got to be able to think on the spot, haven't you?
Very
You've got to
true.
be able to problem solve.
Very true.
How do you approach it? You practice, you play. It's a muscle that you need to flex. So you set parameters and you play within those parameters, and then you give yourself a rule, whatever that rule is, and then at some point you go, you know what, I need to break this rule now, and you just have fun while you do it.
See, that was great.
I actually do lots of that. I do lots of that in my teaching as well.
So you know.
So I flex that muscle quite regularly.
But you do. That was a contraction and a half. That Okay, so we are now down to our last segment.
Okay.
So the question, the big one. So you're a northern baby, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
You love your Merseyside. So the big question is Liverpool versus London.
Liverpool versus London.
I want a nice big rant now.
Okay. Yeah, I am a home bird. I'm always going to say Liverpool, regardless. But if you think about what it is that who we asking this question to, if you're a dancer in training, or if you are, if you're looking to pursue a career in this industry, I think you need to be realistic. Are there enough jobs here to sustain a quality of life that you might want? Do you have the resilience to put up with life in London, the hustle and the graft and the,
Money.
audition, money, yeah, like sharing a house with 7 other people and sleeping on a couch. It was never for me. I can't stand the tube. I hate it. I've got friends that live there who are performers, and when I've gone to visit them, I just think, do you know what? I don't want to supplement my life by working in Harrods. So I'd done that, and I just thought, it's not for me. That I can
Spraying
stay
perfume, did
here.
that for years.
Like, come on. And I think that like, there is a dream, and if people do achieve that dream, amazing. But it's what comes with it that people don't actually talk about enough. Maybe like it's hard going, and if you're not that stronger person, that resilience, it will break you as well. So yeah, it was never for me, never.
So you're advocating.
Very long. But I've also been very lucky that I've always been in the right place at the right time and connected to people. Like, I know that other people would say Liverpool is cliquey and it's small, and if you're not in with the crowd, then it's hard to navigate in and things. So
I think, like you said, if there's a rule, you've got to break it. That's what I did. I was like,
absolutely. That's it. You've got to just do stuff for yourself, and then people will take notice. Yeah, absolutely that.
Well, we've come to the end. How amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you
for
so
having me.
much, Paul. I've loved that. It's been really interesting to hear where you've come from. Where in Liverpool did you grow up?
Oh, she's from Everton, darling. Everton.
Oh,
The
hello.
Urban Village.
The urban village. Favourite Scouse food?
Oh.
Scouse?
I don't mind Scouse. Depends who's making it, doesn't it? Really, like it's controversial. That, like,
Is
but-
it controversial?
Some people's is
Water and meat.
water. Yeah,
Water and
thank
meat.
you. No. Favorite Scouse food. What's your favorite Scouse food?
I've recently discovered half and half.
Which is half rice, half chips.
Yeah, and a bit of curry
Yeah.
sauce.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And
Is
I
that a
just-
Scouse thing? Is it?
It's a Scouse thing, yeah.
Okay.
Well, originally I'm from Yorkshire, aren't I? So
Yeah.
our chip shops and Chinese are two separate
things,
entities.
Yeah.
So it's taken me a long time. Well, I live in Huyton now, so I was like, you've got no choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't get any Scouser than Huyton or Everton.
A Scouse food. Yeah. I think that's probably it, isn't it? Scouse. Scouse is the
It's
one.
nice, yeah, it's all right. I like half and half better.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And yes, please look out for Hanz.
Yeah, Hanz, you can follow him on socials or
Leap.
Leap Festival on Instagram. Follow us, find our website, leapfestival.co.uk. Look out for the festival, 26th of April to the 10th of May, 2025.
And we will be there.
You sure will.
All right.